MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by
this broken payphone.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
You're talking.
You're talking. Don't touch.
But you can't talk.
No.
It's not in the instruction book.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. Now, if you guys are here hanging out on the couch with us, please drop a comment. Let us know you are here. You can even tell us we suck. We're not looking for love, but we live or die by that YouTube algorithm, sadly, and I am scared as hell that it's going to take 35 years to get any traction with this channel. You guys probably just worry about your kids and your mortgage and bills. I don't have any concerns. I just don't want to have to work a job and get paid for YouTube. So drop a comment so that I don't have to work. Sounds fair, right? Now, guys, welcome back. Today we are staying once again inside this fucking wheelhouse that we can't get out of 80s movies. And the year is 1984, the same year our beloved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were birthed. Why do I mention that, Mateo? Well, it's because today's movie was actually directed by the same director of 1990's iconic, immortal, beloved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a fact that I did not know until the Italian told me before we watched the movie today.
Leonardo. Michelangelo.
It's me.
Donatello. And Raphael.
It's 1984's Computer Dreams, a movie that we think was written by an AI program. It's 1984's Electric Dreams, a movie that we think was written by an AI program, as I probably was for stumbling through that title of the movie I watched literally less than a half hour ago.
No one would blame you.
Yes. Now, this was a very weird experience. It's going to make, I think, for a great jams, but I actively disliked this movie, and I felt like I was having a stroke watching it, and like I couldn't function and follow the flow of it.
So like any other movie?
Like any other movie with my awful, deteriorated brain after 20 years of rotted pot abuse.
We'll talk about it when I get home.
But I don't think the guys liked it either. It's very jarring. This tells the story that, at least to me, was familiar. Now, one of my favorite books by Kurt Vonnegut is a short story collection called Welcome to the Monkey House. And there is a story in it called Epicac. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that. It's E-P-I-C-A-C. It was a play on the name of the first computer, which I already forgot what it was called. Because, again, like he pointed out, I'm stupid and can't remember shit. But in Vonnegut's short story, a computer is used to write poetry for a woman that our narrator has a crush on. And he passes it off as his own. She starts falling in love with him. He asks for more poetry. And then the computer starts saying, well, what about me? I kind of want to marry that woman. I'm in love. I wrote the poetry. Very similar to today's plot. You do it too often. I'm talking too much. And Matthew shares my disdain. So, Matthew, why don't you tell us about what this weird, and why it was so weird. What's the plot of this? Even though I pretty much said it with the Vonnegut story.
You pretty much said it with the Vonnegut
Pretty much
story.
said it with the Vonnegut story.
Pretty much said it with the Vonnegut story.
Computer love triangle?
I thought we had reached rock bottom. I didn't think my life could get any possibly
So
worse.
bad.
It's the story of Hank, glasses man.
Miles.
I was like, is that his name?
Who buys a computer and outfits his whole home with plugins so the computer can control every aspect of the house.
Yeah, first of all, you have to say, for a lot of people who are watching, there was a time where nobody had cell phones because they did not exist.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Sure.
Because
It's fair.
in your
It's fair.
fantasy.
You do have to place yourself in the mind, because
Yes.
we were absolutely stunned that Roger Ebert and his companion Gene Siskel, the mispronunciation joke that I will run into the ground, they gave this what 3.5.
Sorry, where is the joke?
This has gone too far.
They gave this what 3.5 and 4 stars.
Pretty much, yes.
And just look, I've gotten accustomed to the fact that when you're a passionate movie nerd, you have these deviating opinions and it can be frustrating. But all this is to say, you have to keep in mind that when the movie came out, computers were very new, because I don't know how the hell else Roger Ebert gave this 4 stars. If it's like, oh my god, this idea is so fresh,
Right.
I get it, but
Director Steve Barron found a couple of fresh and exciting faces in Lenny Van Dolen and Virginia Madsen. They are attractive as a couple and also as individuals. And of course, the story here is a real winner because, frankly, we want it to be true, especially those of us who are totally mystified by computers. For us, this is a plausible story, exceedingly well told. I really like this film a lot.
It engages you romantically and emotionally, and at the same time, intellectually.
Absolutely.
Even though you know a computer probably couldn't do all this stuff, nevertheless, the movie carries it each step logically enough that you're carried right along down the garden path with it. It's fun.
It arrived, and then we...
I'm sorry, we cut off. Nobody gives a fuck about the synopsis, but...
But no.
Keep it over there.
It arrived at the cusp when computers started to become a thing, and there were, as it's shown in the first sequence of the movie, the calculator, the risk calculator, the...
Can you imagine?
The machine that you can program, the lesson, the planner. So this computer does things that, for the time being, you're saying, okay, I guess it, I mean, I don't know that much because not everybody had a computer in their house. So you're saying, sure. If you tell me that a computer can do that, I assume it can.
Probably a stupid question.
Sure.
Before the internet, when you bought a computer for your house, was it just the replacement typewriter?
Mostly, yes. A typewriter, a file. You were just like doing your balance your checkbook or something like that. I mean, just like keep.
I've heard that phrase for years. I remember my dad would always
do it. He would put it on top of the thing.
Like, you fucking know what he's doing. Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry.
You stupid little meddling piece of junk.
So pretty much, it's you say, okay, this is the money I had yesterday. This is the money I have today. What did I spend?
I'm already lost.
All right, and but
he's from a time when you couldn't be a dumbass idiot and not know all this shit. You had to.
Yes. And also, of course, the computers were fundamental for playing solitaire.
Oh.
Still
that
are.
Was,
Still are.
Even before Oregon Trail. Solitaire. It was just like the thing that everybody was but yeah, so there were personal file cabinets and for writing and stuff.
Basically, you have to take into account that this story was seen as a commentary on a fresh technology.
Just to let you know, when there were shots, and there are a lot of shots in this movie, of the computer screen with the graphic that is everybody.
That's important to know also. See, we're viewing it through an entirely different lens.
Like, for instance, I remember that hearing that when they did Short Circuit, which is 2 years after this movie, the director John Badham, I think, forgive me if I get him wrong, but he said that they had a shell from Apple Macintosh of one of their first computers, and he said one of the first things that I did, it was, okay, remove the monitor, put a color monitor. And everybody on set and the special effect technicians say, a color monitor? What the hell are you needing a color monitor for?
Steve Gutenberg is actually now working on the earliest Macintosh, the 256K, which you'll notice is color. And at that time, we were telling a lie because Macintosh didn't have a color monitor. It was black and white. And I kept insisting that at some point in time before we died, there was going to be such a thing as a color monitor.
That's cool.
So we were like that. This movie, the computer has a color monitor. And for us, it was just like, can you imagine having that? You know, so
I think that's very important to keep in mind because otherwise, how the hell do you explain Ebert's review?
Also, I think they were lulled by the music and music video aspects. Like you said, he was the director of music videos.
He was the director of
before this.
Yes.
So there's a lot of that in there,
Yes.
and there's a lot of catchy '80s songs.
Yes, and
a little bit too
great
long
song.
at times.
The soundtrack of this movie is stellar.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. I want to
But
get into
yes.
this. So finish this.
No, thank you. Go,
It's
go.
basically a computer love triangle, right?
Basically, is Cyrano de Bergerac, as you pointed out.
Definitely
earlier.
Notion Bird.
I only actually do get that reference because it was recently a movie with Peter Dinklage. Someone else writes.
Yes.
He writes the love letters for the hot guy.
yes.
He passes it off as his own.
Exactly.
Okay.
And is
Peter Dinklage playing a homosexual?
No, a midget.
It's funny.
So this guy buys a computer. Computer is a what is called the domotic thing that you make the smart home with this computer that can control everything, the entrance, the coffee machine, the lights, and everything. One evening he has an accident for some reason. Some champagne or wine winds up.
He takes the champagne and pours it
Oh
on
yeah, he
top
pours
of the
it
computer
because
We got a very essential detail there.
Yes.
the computer starts sparking on its own and going
It
crazy.
sparks, and then it becomes sentient, and it starts to get curious about
Cock.
Vagina.
Both.
love.
Love.
You spelled it wrong. The real way is L-O-V-E.
Well, what is it?
It's the most powerful feeling in the universe.
Really?
It's how we've all survived.
What does it feel like?
And it tries
Takes two to tango.
he tries to understand what love is, puts him through the ringers because they both fall in love for their neighbor pretty much. She thinks that the Miles is a composer. In reality, it's the computer that is a composer.
Does she still think this is the end of the movie?
I don't know.
You see, the computer is a composer. Miles is just a poser.
And it
Poser composer should have done.
Count it.
yes. And eventually the computer understands what love is, which is pretty much...
After listening to a Foreigner song.
Yes. And says, I understand what love...
Did you hear?
Yeah, I heard a thing.
Oh my God, the computer's coming alive. It was
Possible.
inspired by the movie.
It's highly possible. The computer realizes that love, if you love somebody, is pretty much to set him or her free. And so he says, to a very weird degree, I'm committing suicide because I'm sending a beam of electricity around the globe and it's
By the way,
getting
same
to
thing
me.
that happens in the Vonnegut short.
See?
Computer commits suicide. So basically, this movie ripped off Vonnegut's Epicac. Again, forgive me, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. It's like
And
epic
her
Cock.
epic cock. And of course, the Edgar's dilemma in this movie was what inspired Hathaway to write their hit single. Damn it.
Oh.
Take two.
And of course, Edgar's dilemma in this movie is what inspired Hathaway to write their iconic hit single. The name,
Yeah.
see, it was redundant. I have comedic instincts. To say the name was redundant.
No, you just said the joke before.
So,
And that's it.
Will you give me a break?
Oh no! And the movie ends with the two protagonists together going to somewhere, and there is an inexplicable music video of people dancing to a music that they cannot stop.
So, Edgar survived, created a new song, and is now
In the way
hypnotizing people.
Is everywhere.
Moles, that does not compute.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
This has gone too far. I'm having you checked tomorrow. And whatever's doing this to you is going to be removed.
you know, similar to Heartbeats,
No.
I will give the tiniest bit of credit because while it didn't fully translate, it was not without its emotion when Edgar was saying goodbye. Similar
It's just
to the
because
Heartbeats.
you and I have a stupid ass sensitivity to just
We're overgrown children. We feel sad over stuffed animals, but not in a joking way. We actually feel scared and sad for them.
yeah.
Meanwhile, at the same time, it's hard to care about real people that die.
Yeah.
Man.
Fuck people.
A lot of stuff going on up there.
But I mean, you don't have a brain.
I would like to say I was also very confused by the Siskel and Ebert review because Siskel singled out
You know, there's a saying that if a director casts his movie correctly, he or she is more than halfway home. And that certainly applies to Electric Dreams. Director Steve Barron found a couple of fresh and exciting faces in Lenny Van Dolen and Virginia Madsen. They are attractive as a couple and also as individuals.
Now, Virginia Madsen, of course, would go on to have an illustrious career. I love her in Sideways. I know she's done a ton of stuff. That's just what I know her from. She's very gorgeous here.
She's also the mom from Seventh Heaven.
No. She's the mom in Free Willy. No.
I believe it.
But she looks like it.
I believe it.
The mom in Free Willy is the mom from The House Guest. Blank check.
And our Miles is the main villain in Home Alone 3.
Wow, I can picture the cover and his face is still horrifying.
Wait, young Harry?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Great fact.
Is it?
Imagine that.
I wish we had Looking for Comedy in the Muslim World, so that after that you could go to the clip where the doll says,
"Wow, that's a hell of a fact."
Now, guys, what I was building up to saying here,
oh yeah,
because they praised it so much, not trying to be a hater, but I've never been so turned off, disconnected, and just completely uninterested in the lead.
God damn it!
Also, oh my God, there's so many problems to get into. Okay, but even before that, Mateo, as a prelude to what I'm getting into, you said a lot of this was ADR. A lot. Like the whole movie?
No.
But a lot.
A lot. The first 5 minutes almost entirely.
Miles sounds like he's ADR the entire film, though, right?
That's what I'm going to say.
Or that's just is that his delivery?
Can I help you?
Yes. Well, maybe. I'm looking for one of those things that helps keep you organized. It's the sort of thing that tells you when you have to be somewhere.
Oh, the Casio Day Planner.
Right.
We're out of them.
No, it's horrible. The main discussing point here is that we'll get into why we think it is, but the whole frigging movie is like, if you were gonna poke fun at like level 1 amateur acting students and they do a like at the end of Super 8, they play their cute little movie and the joke is that they're kids acting, so it's fun. Like, this is how, whoa, hi, what did you do? No, even better. The way, and I've said this before, the way people make fun of Keanu speaking when they want to goof on him, this dude literally spends the whole movie like, oh, haha, but what about the music? But I didn't compose it. Why would you do that? What do? You're just a computer. I'm sorry, boss, I had to take a trip for research. Oh, what are you doing now?
I gotta prove I'm smarter than the average ranger.
It's partially the writing, too.
Yes.
Which isn't at all times glaring, but there's definitely a lot of it that's like, okay, that on top of how you're acting it.
Dude, Steve Barron is lucky that he made one of the biggest grails in my life, because holy shit, what the fuck? Like, it's so weird. It honestly feels like AI made this movie and everything is just like, this is how a human would talk because I've watched 50 romantic comedies before this.
So you're a musician?
No, I'm an architect.
That's what I heard. That's like your music.
I think that's the cash register.
Really? So what are you doing for dinner, Mr. Archaeologist?
Architect.
And again, Virginia Madsen, of course, will go on to be a great actor, but even her is somewhat, they talk like aliens learning to emote.
It's almost like a Shyamalan dialogue.
Is it
close to being
ADR?
human.
Is it bad acting? Is it directing? Is it like what?
I guess that they had to do whatever they had.
Well, it's not too exciting right now.
I thought the lead was so wax-faced and unappealing and unemotive and just...
He looked like a bad CGI AI-generated creature with... Like, eyes were just perpetually shrinking throughout the film.
Yeah, is Ezra Miller designed by a computer that saw once a photo of him.
And there's waxy... skin, like there's nothing,
and a lot of mascara around his eyes.
It's difficult to connect.
Oh, I don't think so. It's really very private.
Alexa, put a timer in 18 minutes, please.
18 minutes, starting now.
It's a toy. It's some type of toy?
This might answer your question.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop.
A toy or plaything is an object
Alexa,
that is
stop.
used primarily to provide entertainment.
Alexa, stop.
It's happening. It sounds like it's almost like a toy buzzing.
Yeah,
Is your phone on the thing, Matthew?
No, my phone's in my pocket.
It's like
Could
a
it be-
wind-up
could
toy.
it
is
be
going on.
the skull? It has batteries?
It does, but
Well, we'll see.
what the fuck?
Is your place
Oh.
haunted?
Possibly.
Oh my god, it is.
Yep.
Good call. Is it on?
Apparently. Does it have batteries?
It's on.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
That's fun.
Welcome to behind the scenes. All right.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my god. It's right here.
Oh.
Every line is delivered. First
Everything
of all,
about him is bad.
What?
Just a two-line item in the paper.
I've got to move this thing. It's stuck.
in our
Yes.
credits we get. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So in our credits, we get the third build is the gentleman that played Rex Manning. If you've seen Empire Records, you know
Maxwell
exactly what I'm
Caulfield.
talking about. Maxwell Caulfield.
The guy who replaced John Travolta in Grease 2.
Really takes it far. Everyone around you thinks that you're a star.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
With
Who
Michelle
did
Pfeiffer.
John Travolta play?
In Grease 2?
Yeah.
The bus.
Oh. Okay, I can see it.
Anyway, so he literally is in it for a handful of scenes, but he comes up as third build.
He's a
the
protagonist.
fourth build.
And he comes out as the creepiest guy ever.
We'll get into that. Yes, remember talking about his creepiness. But are they even dating, or is he just like,
No.
hey, what's up?
Dude,
How
it's
are
like
you?
fucking
What's
Zach
up?
Morris with some new girl in Clash. Just instantly, the second she sits down at the
How are you? New to Bayside?
Yeah.
So Mr. Belding is the. He pops up as third build. The fourth build is Bud Cort as the voice of our Edgar. But what that made me realize is I was like, wait, he's
Who the
third.
fuck is Bud Cort?
Harold Maude.
Not Harold and Kumar. Harold and Maude.
Of course.
Tony, do you dance?
Pardon me?
Do you sing and dance?
No.
No. I thought not.
That woman, she took my car.
It's about a guy fucking an old lady.
And I believe even birds kill or something like that.
Man's insatiable mind, goaded on by a handicapped body, will undoubtedly invent subtleties and refinements for his present clumsy progress through the air.
By Robert Altman.
Doesn't matter. What's up?
Yes.
Even birds kill.
Something like that.
Strong men also cry.
What
What
is,
I'm saying is that when we get to the art credits and he's the third build, I was like, wait a second. And then, like you said, the whole movie's basically two people.
Yes.
Two people who are, for whatever reason, delivering in wooden dialogue, but at least we know Virginia Madsen went on to have this great career. This dude is just so free. Oh, so, why did you do that? Oh, no, you're a computer. You shouldn't do that. So what if I'm not even exaggerating. So what if I'm going out with her tonight? No, you did that. Oh, but what about the symphony? I don't actually make music. And I'm just like, what casting director in what fucking universe? Like, he just comes across as so odd and detached and...
I have a theory.
We now return to
MaJaMa. What the heck?
Hello.
Hello.
You must be my new neighbor.
You moving in?
Uh-huh. It's nice to meet you. My name's Madeline
Oh.
Rostat.
Me too.
There's more than one of us?
No, I'm Harding. Miles Harding. I meant it's nice to meet you.
Hey, Miss Roberstadt.
I have a theory. And I honestly don't remember. I wish I could remember it better because sadly I lived through this era. I think that there are two things that I don't want to say tricked Siskel and Ebert, but they made them evaluate this movie slightly differently.
I'm very interested to hear this.
The first one is
I'm
that
interested too.
The first one is that way back when, in the early 80s, and this movie is about that, when you were saying, and this, let's say, is broadly a romantic comedy. It's not really a comedy per se, but it falls under the umbrella of a romantic movie with a bizarre element. The vast majority of protagonists, both mostly the lead, the male lead versus the female lead, but they were zany and crazy and just like they had to be uppity up all the time, and just like the one zinger every other zinger. And he at least was, let's say, against the flow.
Remember when you first played the music for?
Yes?
Well, try to remember what it was like.
It came from deep inside of me. She made me feel.
That's
like
it. She made you feel. That's good. That's perfect. That's
love.
He was just like a guy, a blah guy, which, by a bizarre set of circumstances, back then it looked like a breath of fresh air in movies where you expect, because you say, hey, is a triangle, a love triangle with a guy, a girl, and a computer? What? It must be crazy.
I beg your pardon?
And instead, he was just like taking, he was on the back seat rather than being...
So it's almost as if, like you said, if we could put ourselves in that time, many elements of this seem truly fresh in that moment.
Yes, yes.
Can we?
Can we do that? No, I don't know. That like I said, the computer being fresh thing helps me understand, because this to me... I'm sorry, continue with part two.
And the second part is the director coming from, and by admission of the director, said one of the reasons why the movie is so loaded with music is because the year before Flashdance came out. And Flashdance, even if it's a dramatic movie about a young lady who tries to become a professional dancer, it's mostly like an excuse to show scenes of numbers and music, and there is a fantastic soundtrack.
Like Step Up to the Streets.
Yes, or Electric Boogaloo, Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Or Step Up 3, Rockin' the Heartland.
But...
Is that real? Could be.
It might be. If we have a poster, it might be. But in this case, the director coming from video clips, and back then the only other that I could think of that he had such a, let's say, a baggage of video clips before breaking into directing was Russell Mulcahy, an Australian director, fantastic visionary director. He did Wild Boys, the Duran Duran. He did a lot of Duran Duran movies, but he did a gajillion videos. So they were thinking visually, videoly, and with a lot of details. In fact, one of the things that Gene Siskel highlights is that
we see so many routine pictures that when we start talking about individual shots, we get excited. And I thought there was a shot. I knew this director was hot when I saw the way he photographed the unwrapping of a plastic wrapper that covered part of the cable for the thing, and then he had an insert shot of the kid taking off his shoes because he was going to work, and I saw that shot, and I said, this is going to be a hot film.
That is what a director of video clips would do. You do details because you have to edit a lot of images together, and back then the, let's say, forgive me for the air quote, but the grammatic of the directing, usually you say, we don't need that small detail because it's not...
I appreciate you explaining that, because again, that sounded very jarring for my dumb younger ears when Siskel was just like, yeah, and the second I saw, literally almost verbatim, he's like, the second I saw we cut to a close-up of his shoes, I know, okay, that's good directing, this is going to be a hot movie. And I'm like, okay, so thank you for kind of breaking that down, because that's all very... It sounds insane.
And especially in this kind of movie, which is, let's say, teen or young adult oriented, is very tame. There is no...
These people were like 45.
Yes, as per usual. But I think that the strongest word is screw at a certain point.
Tits.
And I want to see your tits.
Yes, sorry.
Let's just say the computer writes a song and says, I want to lick your tits.
I want to cut off your tits.
2 years later, the computer would be writing for 2 Live Crew.
But so
Tula tits.
Yeah,
That's
It's
MC
for
Hammer,
Pat.
but Tula tits to lick. So, I should say that this is a good idea.
Yes.
This is a very good idea, and again, the Vonnegut story I read, I thought he made it very poignant. This is the computer expressing, how come I can't feel love? How come I can't marry the woman I'm writing poetry to? I think the idea is actually great, and I actually see the sparks of how that idea would wow someone like Siskel and Ebert, because, again, I always remember seeing The Matrix on my birthday party, I think in senior year, no, around then. Point being that 99, thank you. I remember always thinking I had never seen anything like Bullet Time. And that was one of the first examples I have in my life of being like, wow, I've never seen that. And it was so much, it was a good movie, great movie, but so much more intoxicating because like, wow, I really haven't seen that.
Trinity! Help!
So if you're saying there's so many elements that are like, this technology is brand new, we don't know what it can do, I can see how you'd be like, wow, look at what they took, the potential, what computers can do, and made it into the story. Even how like they were saying, I could see a computer doing this, so like Giddy, like I could see this happening. So,
because, as I told you, it was the cusp when the computers started to creep into everybody's house as big, bulky things, and so we didn't really know what they could. I mean, they were saying, "Oh, with a computer."
They were genuinely mysterious.
Yes, you say you can do anything you want.
Wait a minute, did you say anything?
Anything.
Anything?
Yes, anything.
Anything?
Anything.
Anything?
I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident.
And you say yes. So everything that you see in the movie, it was plausible, even if, like for instance, it's quite unclear how he gets in and how out the house, because it seems that every time somebody gets close to the door, it automatically opens, no matter who is there, because it happens with the neighbor when he goes to protest for the music, it happens to her, and so it's weird.
But this should have been an Eerie Indiana episode.
Sure, my new hometown looks normal enough, but look again. What's wrong with this picture? The American dream come true, right? Wrong. Nobody believes me, but this is the center of weirdness for the entire planet.
Thank you, little paper boy.
Erie, Indiana. My home, sweet home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say I didn't like it. It felt hard to connect to.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
There was a weird editing, at least to me, that made it seem hard. I don't know, like the first 5 minutes, and I'm glad you said something, because I was like, why do I feel like my brain is struggling to follow whatever the flow of this movie is?
Replace Miles, and I think it would have been fine.
Replace Miles with, let's say, a young Jim Carrey?
Sure.
Doing his exasperated, flummoxed by the...
A toned down, restrained Jim Carrey, a younger Jim Carrey.
It would have been in line with the comedies that we were used to at the time. It's very weird.
I don't mind a restrained choice, and I completely understand how things that come along that deviate are fresh and intoxicating. But I just this movie was so unpleasant to me.
Yes, but imagine, just like to give you the idea of how we felt. Imagine that you've been given a steady diet of horror movies with scares and monsters and creatures and, and stuff. And then all of a sudden you go and see Paranormal Activity, where virtually nothing happens. And yet you are captivated from the beginning to the end. You say, what am I? I'm watching something that I understand. What it is. This one, it felt kind of like that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Hi. Wanna play?
I'm late.
Frank.
Madeline.
Her. You're going out with Madeline?
No, I meant Frank. It was a slip of the tongue.
Your tongue does not slip.
I'm surprised I haven't asked this yet. Show my first question. Was this a hit? Was it popular with people? Did it do well? Was it well received? Was it financially...
It was, in Italy, was a smash hit.
Why is it banned in America?
It's not banned. I think that probably Shout is working on doing a version of it. But for some reason, it's... I got this one from England, which is in England. It's a very strange thing. It's like the Russian dolls, but England.
Oh. Is that how it works?
No.
Oh.
But in Italy, mostly it was a smash hit because of the soundtrack. Because
you guys were big on that.
Back
Just
then,
like Batman.
back then there were two things that played in a lot of movies' favor. Number one and number two. Oh, you want to hear what? Okay. Number one. First of all, summer was not a hot season for movies. It still isn't. So in summertime, movies don't come out.
What are you guys doing?
It makes more sense.
You just like
No, you want to go inside for the AC.
Your thumb. No, but people say, oh
Still,
no,
you want to go outside and
let's go to the beach and let's go to on the beach. Yes. So usually, and plus movies are dubbed. So it would take about. I hit my microphone. So it would take about 6 months if...
To get to the beach?
No, to have a movie dubbed.
Oh.
Stop! Stop, stop! È tutto sbagliato.
Sbagliato.
Sembra una musichetta pubblicitaria.
Lo è?
E le parole? Non posso fargliele sentire. Voglio spremerti, strizzarti, scorticarti, poi baciarti. Così la tratti come un limone.
Ma Moles fanno rima.
Ah, sì, ma dobbiamo ricominciare da capo.
And so there was this delay, but the music, it was immediate. So a video that would come out here, it would come out also in Italy at the time.
Wait, do you guys? I'm sorry. Do you guys have? Do you take our big summer movies and release them at different times?
On the average, yes. Now it's a little different because they have a lot of publicity tie-in. It's like GoldenEye was one of the first movies that came out in summer because, I think, or maybe the movie after that, because there was a deal with BMW that they were presenting the new model of whatever car they were making in that movie. So it had to come out simultaneously worldwide on that date. But usually movies that come out on summer for this kind of stuff, then they are stretched into September, October. They come back in theaters in September, October because people don't go to the movies in summertime for whatever reason. So we had the videos immediately when the movie was coming out here. And they would live for about 6 to 8 months before the movie would come out. So we had it, oh, this is a very cool song. Oh, that's the movie with the cool song and stuff. And number two, back then there was a TV show called DJ Television, which was a religious appointment for all the kids. At between 2 p.m. and 2:30, there was this daily half an hour with music videos. And they would blast this soundtrack or the Bat Dance by Prince or whatever song connected to a movie was the hit, Flashdance. So every single day before going to study, for doing homework, everybody that I knew would be in front of the TV at 2 to watch DJ Television. So we got a steady diet of all these videos because I did almost every single song of this movie had a video given the director.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's very smart marketing.
Yes, and so
Plus, you'd almost take those chunks out of the movie and that.
Yeah, there are sequences that are just like videos, and so yes, we were just like conditioned to hear this song and there's this movie. So.
And you guys had no idea about Batman.
We had no idea about
Batman. You just heard the music and liked it, but you had zero knowledge of the character.
There was the cartoon. I'm sorry, the show with Adam West, but it was relegated as a kids stuff, and I remember seeing it once probably, and I don't know if they haven't broadcasted it since.
Did you
whenever.
you guys got the soundtrack before the movie actually came?
Yes,
so,
because the soundtrack you don't have to translate it. Just like take it.
How do you understand the lyrics?
You don't.
When did you?
And I remember that when we were watching these videos or listening to the songs in general, sometimes we were trying to guess because not all of the CDs or back then even the long playing records, they didn't have the lyrics. So we're just like listening and say, what are they saying? Oh my! I think it says love is something, and so it's just like I've heard so many distortion. There was people thinking that, for instance, the first lyric of New York, New York was "Stars singing the blues," because they had no idea about spreading the news, but it would sound like, and you were just like trying to guess it. My brother played in a band where they were singing songs in English, and it was just like they were just like doing
Trying to mimic the sounds.
yes, what in theater is called gramelot, that you're sounding like you're talking in a different language.
Tree, flower pot, piece of wood.
Not even that. Not even that. You were just like doing. Precisely.
What year did you guys end up
with
getting
music?
What year did you guys end up getting the actual Batman movie? 90? Like a year after?
I think it came on Christmas of no. Batman came out in October because there was a it became such a huge hit here that initially they were saying, okay, let's have him for Christmas, but then news arrived about this phenomenon because Batman was the first to a degree, but
the first blockbuster superhero movie.
Fuck
Superman.
Since Superman about 10 years before, a little more longer, because Superman is
was boring.
77 or 78.
Yeah.
And Batman is 89.
Yeah.
So
was there a McDonald's tie-in?
We didn't have McDonald's then back then.
In the late 80s? How long did it take?
A lot. We had Boogie.
Hamburger boogie, hamburger boogie, hamburger, hamburger, ricche patatine, allegria e felicità. Hamburger, hamburger, ricche patatine, e anche per mamma e papà.
The Italian chain that was copying McDonald's, and we had Wimpy from England. That is in England. Again.
Based off the
Popeye character?
I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
If memory serves, the Popeyes character is named after the...
Shut the fuck up.
Chain. I may be wrong.
Duh.
I don't understand what's happening right here.
So this is Electric Dreams.
All right, so what? Let's talk about the scene where he comes out of the shower and he's like desperately trying to cover up the computer from the girl upstairs.
I mean, it's a very classic movie language, like Mateo talks about the movie language.
Yes,
Like, oh,
yes.
hi, yes. Well,
But it just once again seems like, oh, that's what happens in a movie. Let's put it in there once again. Like AI wrote this fucking thing after being force-fed a bunch of romantic comedies.
Even funnier, which I never understood it, nor when I saw the movie the first time, nor today. At a certain point, he forgets, I guess, that he has he has turned the faucet of the bathtub on, and he goes to the bathroom, and there is the water coming over there, and his plausible reaction is,
Jeez.
And what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's too complicated to go there and just like,
come on.
I know.
He's so.
But yes, the why he is hiding the computer is a mystery. Same thing like he's in during the concert and the beeper starts to go with the music of the concert, and he starts to and then remove the batteries. Yeah. Probably is an easier.
Yeah. Or just walk the fuck out.
Yes.
Also, it seems with the way that he's played Virginia Madison.
Virginia Woolf.
Virginia
Michael
Madsen being so into him seems like...
Was that him?
Because the movie has to happen. Because, like, I can accept the fact that there was a deviation from the more energetic performances, if you're saying that, but I just don't see any woman... I mean, it's not even like he has to work her over like the classic, like Eddie Murphy with Jada in... Buddy Love and Jada Pinkett in The Nutty Professor. He's got to work at it, you know? She sees him as kind of abrasive. He's got to work at it. It's not even like this guy... Virginia's just like, oh my God, I wanted to... I'm like, what? Like, you are giving us nothing.
I think it's based off of the music and they're playing it together in the beginning. But once again, it's hinted at her, like, he's shy, so he doesn't want to tell me that it was him playing. And, like, she thinks he's hiding it the entire film. But is it ever revealed that she knows that he wasn't actually doing it and it was the
at the
computer.
End, he tries to tell her I'm a liar about the music, and he brings up, and she's like, forget about the music.
Yeah, also, nothing happened with the brick. The whole movie is about him trying to design a brick that's going to stop earthquakes from happening.
Yes.
Stop
the puzzle
from collapsing.
Yes.
Yeah. So the computer's helping him, and he has a whole dream sequence about it, and the computer's trying to help him build the brick out of a puzzle piece.
And he says it's still in my mind or something like that at the end, but there is no...
There's no conclusion. There's nothing it's used for. No... Maybe it means something to someone.
Yeah. It's very weird. And also there is no... I mean, I understand that she falls in love for him because of the music, but my God, it's one song she plays together with him.
Yeah.
And
I mean, again, I see.
That's a good starting point, but it's just confusing as to where
you can do that. And I understood what they were going for. I like the electronic blending of her cello playing. Mm-hmm. I see the movie magic, if you will, of that, and I understand they're trying to go like, oh my God, the music bonded us. You picked up on the notes. We played together through the wall, but nothing translated at all.
Because he doesn't even realize that the whole time when they're at dinner and they're talking about it, and then there's a cut to when they're walking on the street, and like, you would think at a certain point she explicitly says, or asks him, or he asks her, what the fuck are you what music? What the fuck are you talking about? Because at this point he doesn't know what his computer's doing. He doesn't know that his computer's learning and producing music and trying to become sentient. So you would think he'd ask her, like, what music? What the fuck? Why do you keep bringing this up?
Oh, I wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed your music yesterday morning.
Music? I wasn't even at the... Wait a minute. What did it sound like?
Ginger snap? It was so pretty. At first I thought it was the television.
From my apartment?
Uh-huh.
Must have been...
No.
What? Oh, I'll get them.
Oh.
We now return to MaJaMa.
Madeline, are you all right?
Miles, something happened in there. What is it? What's going on?
I'll tell you everything. Anything you want to know. But first, I have to know something. I should have asked you a long time ago.
Yeah, but Miles, that machine, I don't understand what...
No, you don't understand. I'm not what I seem to be.
And does she ever realize that the computer was alive?
I don't think so. He just, I say, he brings her in the middle of the street. At the end, reckless.
Green light. Green light!
I'll tell you one thing. Whoa, car. But, no, it says I'm a liar, and that's pretty much it.
So she never finds out the computer was making the music.
And she goes into his house, and it's been fucking ravaged. He destroyed his computer, he knocked a bunch of shit over, lights are popping, fuses have blown, the computer's on its side, it's all burnt up, the door opens up, and she walks in like, oh, what is this? And
she cries, and one tear winds up in the computer, and he understands what love is. That's pretty much the...
You know, this might be the movie I like the least in the history of jams, because even something like Frogtown is like a what the fuck flame out spectacle.
At least you're Roddy.
Yeah, Roddy's the fucking man.
What is this? Blood. Boiled baby tortoise and brown lizard. I grind them up together to make a paste out of. So I asked.
this just felt like, I'm glad we did an episode on it. It provokes conversation, but like the movie itself, I could not connect to this thing. It was like, to me, it's every problem with the art form. You're supposed to connect to a character. You're supposed to be with it. It just felt cold and alien. I could not, funnily enough, for a movie about an electronic computer trying to connect, I can't, there's nothing there. It felt like just watching a series of images flash before my eyes. Oh, what was Matthew's great joke? It was like a radio show,
radio drama
that they tried to put images to after the fact.
Like they already recorded the audio, and they're like, okay, let's try to get imagery for it.
Matching images.
Yeah.
And he's right that like there may be some ADR, but if you told me literally the entire movie was like, if you wanted to prank me and you told me before like, hey, the whole movie's ADR, I believe you in a second. Like because everything just seems so fucking weird and after the fact and like, oh yes, over there is the computer. Oh yes, that why we should go out on a date as human beings.
The clerk at the electronics store.
Yes,
she's very noticeable with her. They're also playing Coma Chameleon.
Yes,
8-bit version.
Yes.
You want computer components. You know, like stereo equipment. Then you just update the part that gets outdated. What's your preference? Apple, Pear, Wang?
Oh, listen, I don't know anything about computers.
Nobody does. But don't you want one for when you do find out?
But for instance, the first time that they meet when she's moving in, that's instead live sound.
Where do you want the hi-fi?
Gotta go. Beacon Brothers beckon.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You can put it in the front room.
Okay.
Oh, damn, I'm late.
Well, hurry then.
Bye.
What do you think is a percentage of ADR for this film?
Good question.
Illustrated in this pie graph.
You have pie?
I wish.
The gag will be it's a picture of pie. And everyone will laugh and laugh and laugh at our witticisms.
What if we can't find a picture of pie online?
Show's turning into a lot of work.
No, I'll ask you to do it on Photoshop. Pretty much now.
We're going to be waiting quite some time.
You have mastered it.
I broke it.
I feel like it's so sparse. Like I said, when... Oh, we didn't talk about Creepy McCreepington's, Roddy McDowell's, what is it? Chip Butterman?
Chip Butterman.
Claude Stevenson, what's his name?
We talked about him, didn't we?
Maxwell Caulfield.
Maxwell Caulfield.
Maxwell Caulfield, yeah.
Did we talk about him? Because I feel like there's nothing else, because the whole movie's two fucking people!
And Alcatraz.
Oh my god, I forgot about that!
Alright, yeah, a lot of it is just music videos.
Yes.
And I think it lulls you into thinking things happened when they didn't.
Yes.
Because there was fun music.
Also, did Steve do any famous music videos? Like, really known?
Billie Jean, for instance.
That's right, you did say that. Okay, so he was huge in the
Oh,
music
yeah.
video. I don't think I ever knew that the Ninja Turtle director did the Billie Jean video. I knew fucking Fincher did the Paula Abdul video. How did I not know this? That's a cool factoid.
I'm pretty sure at the end of the Alcatraz montage where they sneak off from the tour and start running around different levels of the cells and locking each other in and this and that.
You pantomimes like he's getting ass raped in prison.
She is bound around her ankles and has her hands behind her back, and they're sitting on some perch next to the ocean.
Next to the ocean. You're sir. Her feet was bound.
I mean, it's like it looked like it was like you tied it up with a jacket or something, like you would put it around your waist, but it was around her feet, like her ankles, and her hands were behind her back, and he was pretending to be like I'm like, okay, are they doing like she was trying to escape and he caught her? What are they trying to do? But there's no context.
Her feet were tied?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see here, but I don't know what was happening.
That's good. That's perfect.
I mean, a lot of catchy songs. I mean,
what's the one you love?
Let It Run.
Which sadly we cannot actually play, so it's going to be played while we're talking on it.
Also, his last song he creates, and the first Love is Love. Yes.
He was down with the LGBTQ years before.
I love Video. Those are two songs by Jeff Lynne of Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh.
Huh. And
Love is
Love is a Culture Club.
We don't have to touch it to know what it is.
Love is love, which is, of course, the mantra of NAMBLA.
I can see them adopting it, actually. Is NAMBLA still around?
How do they even exist?
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
It's like the ballsiest thing any human has ever done to literally form a man-boy... Like, that is a South Park joke. How is that an actual fucking organization?
Man-boy love...
National American Man-Boy Love Association.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, how? How?
Is it that it got...
It's so ballsy!
Is the fact that it got big, or that it was just like...
Oh, it got big.
Is it the fact that it was picked up on and made it into a running joke? Or was it an actual...
What are their meetings like? Okay, so how are we going to convince people that it's okay we fuck boy? End of this episode took a weird turn.
Alright, let's just vote, I guess.
Alright.
I don't think we should be talking about these things anymore.
No.
Not on camera, at least. I should cut the last 10 minutes out of this.
Alright, Mateo's starting.
I'll start, yes.
Oh my god.
What
do you think it's going to be? It's going to be fairer than we will be.
I go with...
I'm fair. Not fair. You're fair. I'm emotion-based.
I go with 3.5 because the soundtrack has been a lovely companion in my youth.
You dribble on yourself.
Yes, I am. And, well, there is a TH, and when you say...
what is a ute?
What is a ute?
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. 2 youths.
So, that's it. 3.5.
Well... 1, 2, 3, 4, and... a half, because it feels unfair to go full lowest 5, because I do think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could see why someone would want to make this movie, and
make it shorter.
An extra half point because I would suck Steve Barron's dick for making the best Ninja Turtle movie of all time. Also, make it shorter is not fast enough for the punchline. Matthew?
I'm gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if you replace the protagonist, you have a decent film, and Let It Run is a badass song. And this could be a lot of fun if you did it good.
If you did it not bad.
MaJaMa.
Well, that was an experience. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to click that subscribe button so that you're with us every week.
That means they'll be notified when we have new videos come out.
Yeah, hit the notifications so you know when these things drop.
We have that?
We have little fun things sometimes dropping on Sunday. We're going to try to pump out more. Please, if you're on the old IG, Instagram, follow us at MaJaMa. Trying to be on there more often. Connect with you guys. And yeah, that's about it for another Jams. Thanks for joining us, guys. We hope we'll see you back here next week. And Matthew will
Or last week.
Or last week
If
if you're watching reruns. Or maybe you've discovered time travel and you're watching this surrounded by dinosaurs and Benjamin Franklin. In which case, what's up,
They
guy?
were not contemporary. Oh, never mind.
No, they've got banned, then took them to...
Oh, okay, okay.
Franklin created the time machine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we're going to end with our catchphrase.
I'm sorry I didn't realize I'd be a part of this.
Yes. Funny as always.
Which is what most people say when they see this show. Punchline didn't make sense. We'll end on that.
MaJaMa.
Are you all right?
Miles, something happened in there. What is it? What's going on?
I'll tell you everything. Anything you want to know.
Miles, I guess I love you.